Have you ever felt like you were a little bit different? Like you had something unique to offer the world if you could just get people to see it? Then you know exactly how it felt to be me.
Welcome to the Live a Meaningful Story podcast, where we explore connections between the movies we love and the stories we live. We are friends and colleagues with backgrounds in storytelling, filmmaking, teaching, and narrative therapy. Join us on our quest to unlock the power of storytelling for your life. I'm Derek Hatch.
My name is Nick Natal.
Hello, everybody. I'm Joseph Wilson.
I'm Jason Lynn.
Staring, motivating, engaged, coffee break. How's everybody doing? We're here living a meaningful story.
As we just had a coffee break.
Yep. Flint Smith.
The
Energy. That's why he does the whole movie.
Yeah.
Literally. But
I'm doing good. I feel like that guy right now. Just with the
Flint?
hair all out of place. Yeah.
I love Flint. So hello everybody. We are talking about Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs for my introduction
Prestigious.
of
I Am the Protagonist
series. Yeah, we're doing. So this movie came out in 2009.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's got some time on it. It's got a little bit of time on it.
Do you guys know who directed this?
Who?
Phil Lord and Christopher Miller. Oh, come on, guys.
You could have just said my cousin's name.
Yeah,
Context has to
I was
come
gonna say,
out
go
here.
ahead, context.
This is important, okay?
Okay.
This was their first feature. After this, they went on to go and make the following movies. So live action, they made 21 Jump Street.
Okay.
Oh,
But animation is where it really counts.
Mm-hmm.
They made the Lego movie
okay.
and the Spider-Verse films.
Oh.
They both made them? They have dual directors?
So they're a team, yeah.
Yeah.
So the Spider-Verse films, what they do, so animation's a little different than like live action. In animation, it's actually the producer who's in charge, not the directors. The directors are executing the will of the producers.
Okay.
So, so for like the Spider-Verse films, they did not direct them, but they wrote them and they produced them. They are the ones calling the shots. In this film, they're produced, but they also directed as well.
That's
Same with
cool.
the Lego movie. There's
Yeah.
another movie they did called The Mitchells vs. the Machines. Hilarious movie. So good.
Yeah, the comedic effects in this movie, like even
The comedy.
When you're
Yes.
looking at the town and stuff like that too, this whole movie kind of feels alive.
Yeah, you get
like-
their quirky kind
Yeah.
of like humor is starting to emerge in this film.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Ratbirds.
Rat birds.
Uh-huh.
Not even just rat the TV, like,
Just kind of like walking around.
Yeah.
man.
but it seems like a little venture for him. Like you could have a whole little series about what this TV guy was doing too.
Right.
Like I feel like you can have a little mini series for each townsperson, and you'd be like, yeah, I would watch this 30-minute little bit.
Let's make that miniseries.
Yeah.
Or let's go make the TV on Legs miniseries.
Oh man, but
Then we can add rat birds to Wingspan.
that'd be gross. Like Jason, how'd you feel about these rat birds?
How'd you feel about this movie?
Mm-hmm.
It was a nice little movie. It was fun. I mean, it didn't ascend like a Ratbird might for me, but it's one of those movies that I'm like, this thing is dumb and I don't want to watch it. That's how I felt a long time ago. And I'm like, okay, this wasn't a waste of time. I like this. And I was thinking, and it's so close to the movie that, we're going to do after this, but the relationship with the father and son was I really like that. There's this reaching out to understand the other.
Yeah.
And they can't.
They can't.
The other is computer technology. It's just so vast and up in the air and hard to tie down and understand and to a workman's level of just, okay, it's too much for his dad.
Hands, yeah.
He only knows
gap is just so big.
Yeah.
Yeah. He only knows fishing metaphors.
Yeah.
That's all his love comes out as.
And funny enough, that's how I grew up too. Like my dad, he was big into sports, and I'm very not. I'm very away from the sports aspect.
Yeah.
So he would use terms like that, and I'm just like, I don't know what you're talking about. But
what do you mean? Son, when you're a lineman,
yeah, and it's
Dad,
like,
what?
it's like, Dad, I'm just trying to build these Legos. I don't know. I don't want to talk
That's
about these
so
sports.
funny.
But they're both trying to pull the other into their world
Mhm.
as can you love me for me? Like the
Yeah.
dad's saying it too.
Yeah.
It's not just the son, but they're both come into my world and understand and love me. They both don't want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And so I thought that's really, there's a lot of beautiful stuff in this.
Yeah.
The rat birds aren't beautiful, but they're cool.
But they're helpful.
And That'd be, I don't know. I'd make something like that. Just let's make this thing.
Bird.
I'd make something fly that shouldn't. I definitely would.
So yeah, even with connecting like with stuff like that, yeah, there is growing up, there was that aspect of me wanting to like connect with my father, but not understanding how I can connect or even wanting the other side of him to connect with my side too. Yeah, you know, it's the father stuff with me for these movies.
Yeah. It comes back to community, family.
It comes back to the community and family, and somehow it does come back to my dad because I feel like that is such an integral part of me becoming the man I am today. So yeah, Nick, what did you think of Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs?
Fun. I liked the raining food idea. I thought the movie was kind of just completely insane. So I thought it was cool though. I like that. I like the dad. I like that. I told Joe or the chat when he gets asked to do the emails, and that's the first time you see his eyes. I laughed out loud. I thought that was really funny.
Oh, there's the time where he says, "Look me in the eye and tell me this is going to end in total disaster," and he goes. I was like, that's. I want to save this picture and use it in the group chat.
The son and dad was really cool. And there was a bunch of little parts that I liked. There's the part where he throws a snowball in the lady's face in the house. A little aggressive.
Little brutal, yeah.
It's kind of like he went and murdered like the family.
It's breaking and entering.
Dang, okay.
This movie is a little insane, but you know, on par.
This movie walks so Rick and Morty could run.
Yeah.
Although different ways to eat sardines.
Yeah.
Imaginative, very imaginative.
Derek, what did you think?
What do you think, Derek?
So this is in my house. This has been dubbed. This is our second time seeing it. Me and my kids. This is dubbed the Raining Cheeseburgers movie because that's the thing they remember most from this. So
that is a dope concept, though.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan of Lord and Miller. Obviously, like the Spider-Verse movies are pretty peak for me. The Lego movie, I also think is like one of the best animated films in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
And I think Mitchell's vs. Machines is criminally underrated. It is so good. So I'm a fan of these guys. I like what they do.
Yeah.
I think it's a lot of fun. And this movie's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, we can continue on then.
Well, can we do the letterbox real quick?
Oh, yeah. My bad. Letterbox. Prepare to get served. Inventor Flint Lockwood creates a machine that makes clouds rain food, enabling the down and out citizens of Chew and Swallow to feed themselves. But when the failing food reaches gratuity proportions, Flint must scramble to avert disaster. Can he regain control of the machine and put an end to the wild weather before the town is destroyed? So, we've kind of touched on some of the things I want to talk about.
Food puns in
the
letterbox.
Good job, letterbox.
Let's scramble to, okay.
Yeah, the two themes I kind of want to talk about, and we'll go through the story as well as we talk about them. But I feel like one of them is very similar to yours, Jason, with Ratatouille, being confident in your gifting, and then fathers accepting their sons, and then even vice versa.
You know, your two movies are like companion pieces, and I didn't realize it until the Mononoke episode. But our two movies are insanely companion pieces.
Yeah,
like
I didn't notice it either until I was listening to you talk, and I was like, "Oh my god!" And even potentially what's coming up in my future, university-wise, I was like, "Oh my god!" Like we're on a very similar path. Hopefully.
Yeah. So this is awesome.
That's interesting. So it's going to be cool to see what you say too, Jason, with yours.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do about family or fathers.
Really?
No, I'm kidding.
Oh, I would say, that would surprise me.
Yeah, that should, because it's not. Anyways, yeah, it'll be really cool to talk about this after.
Yeah, after it all.
Excited.
So I kind of brought stuff here too for them to see that I've had growing up.
Yes, this is a treat, man.
Yeah, I really do connect with Flint in a whole lot of ways. I feel like the biggest thing that really disconnects us is the mother not being there because, as you guys know, I have my mom. My mom is alive, and a lot of my life was from like growing up like in my mom being the predominant role. So there's things in this movie that I can't fully relate with Flint and his dad. However, there is that sense of wanting to make it like your father proud and your father to see you for who you are that I like really, really connect with.
So to ask real quick, did your mom kind of champion you the way that Flint's mom does?
Yes. My
So
mom was that
there's
champion. My mom was the one that taught me how to change a tire. My mom is the one that took me to conventions and stuff like that. My mom is the one that took me to go get these Legos, to go, take me to see all these different things. My mother was that. And watching it again, I thought, what, like, God, obviously God forbid it, but what if my mom wasn't there?
Yeah, that might look like this.
That not even really being able to connect. And again, also, I have more siblings anyways. I'm not an only child.
Right.
But there was always that feeling of being the black sheep of the family, being the one that isn't understood because my siblings are the sports people, and they were very easily able to relate to my dad in that aspect that I never could. And still to this day really can't even. But yeah, I feel like with this, it's something that I really want to reach to have with my father now. And even coming back from California during Thanksgiving, that was a very, I feel like, emotional and important impact, like with my life and growing that relationship, because I'm seeing him for who he is now.
Yeah.
It's not just he didn't see me for who I am, so I'm just gonna run away and disconnect. It's now that I've had this community, now that I have people that accept me, I can grow and even gain that better relationship with my father, which is kind of like what happens with Flint.
That is, I was just going to say, because you have Flint in the movie who starts to see that other people can value what he does. And when that happens, especially with Sam, the girl.
Yeah. Oh, funny enough. Wait.
Oh,
Wait. I got to show you.
Oh, man.
Look at Nancy looking like Sam with her glasses.
You put a microphone on.
Right in front of her face.
See? Yeah, hold on. We didn't even talk
That's
about what
awesome.
this guy just put in front of us. He has all these pages of thought out inventions and stuff with measurements. He's got the measurements on there and how they work. This dude's literally Iron Man.
I'm glad you.
This dude's Tony Lockwood right here. Flint Stark. Flint Stark
I like
in the
Flint
house.
Stark.
What? This Thor's hammer?
So it's a backpack. So I was trying to make some type of like vacuum that you could just wear on your back. It's like a backpack vacuum.
That's something that Flint Lockwood would make that would blow up.
Yeah.
It would suck up way too much stuff and explode.
What made this come to life?
Yeah.
It's just the idea, like the creativity I had. And then I wanted to make things, I guess, a bit easier for people. Like a lot of my ideas come from wanting to be like a superhero to help other people. So like I have like measurements of being like having like an Iron Man suit or like an iron gauntlet, like being like vigilante stuff. But
that sounds like Flint too.
Yeah,
It is. Wants to help people and make things easier.
Yeah, and that's honestly what I've always wanted to do. And I kind of feel like what I do now with my teaching, it's more like as I'm a teacher, I want to have these kids understand these life lessons so that they don't have to grow up and have to do it as an adult. Learn from me now so that you don't have to go through the same things I had to go through growing up. It's kind of also like that.
We'll get right back to the conversation in just a moment. But first, it is a brand new year. It is a new chapter in your story. If you listen to this podcast, it is probably fair to assume that you are a story enthusiast to some degree. And the thing that I love about the art of storytelling is that it's not just confined to the films that we discuss here. It's a reality that impacts our daily lives because we are all living out a story. And as the title of this podcast suggests, we are on a quest towards better understanding what it means to live that story out more meaningfully. And that's what my company, All Things Narrative, is dedicated to doing. It's a place where you can explore your story and the art of storytelling and the relationship between your life and the world of storytelling. And if that's something you're interested in, we have all kinds of ways that you can get involved with us at All Things Narrative, from events that we do locally in the South Florida area to workshops, classes, coaching for different projects, and many more things that I'm excited to announce in 2025. But if you would like to stay up to date with what we do at All Things Narrative, then I'd like to encourage you to sign up for our mailing list at the link in the description here. And when you do that, you will get a free bonus exclusive episode that has never been released before of this podcast called 5 Tips to Improve Your Storytelling. These are tips that I give to all my clients, and it really will help you take your understanding of storytelling and how to communicate your story more effectively to the next level. And so when you sign up for that, you will get a link to that episode. And you feel free to use those tips for whatever purposes you have, whether you want to get better at telling your story through speaking, writing, or for your own personal development. Go ahead and do that in the description so you can stay up to date with what we do here at All Things Narrative and how we can best serve you in your story and this next chapter we find ourselves in 2025. And now back to the conversation.
It's interesting because one of the thoughts I had is a year ago we did this series on origin stories, and we talked about movies that resonated to where we came from in life. Now we're doing a year later this series, I Am the Protagonist, and these are more where we're currently at, how we see ourselves. With mine, like Star Wars is just childhood, very black and white, good versus evil. Then you get Princess Mononoke where things are ambiguous. With your movie, it's interesting because I was trying to think of like, okay, the Flint Stark thing did stand out to me. Because in Avengers Age of Ultron, which you picked last year, you have this character that is just trying to do good.
Yeah.
Trying to do some good, but they're stumbling along the way. That's also this movie in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
But I think the difference is that in this film, Flint is eventually accepted. He is able to find something that does bring the community together, but he also has to take the responsibility to shut it down when it's become too much, right? Yeah. And it's not a movie that like is very emotional for me, but it is when I start thinking about you. Yeah, like how so with you, Nick? Because maybe it's the same thing we're thinking.
It a whole lot more because I know a little bit of your relationship with your father, so then I get to watch this young boy. I get to watch it for an hour and a half, it kind of unfold. And so it just kind of brought it to life. And I don't think if I knew you, I would have enjoyed this movie as much. Like, sincerely, that was just a major part of my experience.
Yeah. I think where it was emotional for me was that like, I just saw like a young you, like crying out to be seen and to be recognized. And all these people who were casting you aside saying with Flint, like, oh, your inventions are whatever. They're silly. They're a waste of time. So the thing I was going to ask you is like, is that how you felt in your life? Have you felt like with these creative things that you've put together, whether it's what you've brought here, these ideas, whether it's your stop motion, whether it's anything that you're doing.
Collecting Legos and
collecting
Transformers has become a waste of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you ever feel like people have put you down for that though and tried to discourage you?
Well, yeah, actually. It kind of reminds me of the period where my mother and my father were getting divorced, especially during that time. I would say even coming up to Florida, moving out here to Florida, there was that period of where my family that was on my dad's side, because again, that was where the family that I mostly grew up with, pretty much I felt like shunned. I didn't see any of them. I didn't hear from any of them. Like a lot of them I've just recently saw like after like 10 years, even probably even more than that. A lot of like my collecting stuff, I hid that in high school and middle school because it's like the people I even did tell that are my friends, oh, you're collecting dolls? Well, I guess you won't be coming over to my house because I don't want you to see what I have. Yeah, I did a lot to try to conform to normacy. I didn't really tell people a lot about this. This is like even one of the things I had that I wrote in is a book, pretending like I'm reading the book, but I'm actually drawing.
That's awesome.
My inventions and stuff like that because I just didn't want to be made fun of. And then during that time as well, there was a season where I was just big. So being big, nerdy, glasses, all of it was just kind of like, I'm already at a disadvantage.
That's the guy drawing these, right?
Yeah, that's the guy drawing
Picture
these.
of 2012 Joe.
There's a scene in the movie where the boss, I guess, is trying to convince Flint to...
The mayor.
Trying to convince Flint to keep producing the food, and he's like, you could choose like worldwide acceptance.
Yeah.
Or what does he say? Because it was so perfect.
Or
Everybody
you
will
just
like
hate
you. Everybody will like you on one side,
or everyone hates you. It's your choice.
Yeah. I was like, so I don't know if I'm super connected to that character, but knowing you now made me connected to that character.
Yeah.
And that is like the community can help us understand the stories that we're watching.
Yes.
So that was helpful for me.
Yeah.
It was
I
so
agree.
clear. It was like everybody in your ear, everybody's gonna like you on one side, or you will be rejected by all.
Yeah. And I felt like I made the choice of being rejected because I just at one point I had to accept who I was. And I feel like all of that ties to the moment back in Oklahoma where when I was living out there doing what's it called, like a nonprofit. It's like City Year.
I did not know that.
I was pretty much doing what I'm doing now. I was a teacher assistant in a urban community. I think they were fourth graders. I should have brought those photos too. But I was so low at that moment. I went through this is dumb now, but I went through a really bad breakup. This is literally at the time where I don't have my dad, my mom. I'm living on my own without even my mom. This is the first time I even was living on my own. I was away from the people I knew. I was away from my community, and I was just so depressed. I was the most depressed I've ever been in my entire life, where I almost committed suicide. And this is the point where I needed the father's ear and the father to tell me how much he did love me, which again is kind of like at the end of this movie, the father tells how he truly feels about Flint. And even through all the fishing metaphors, it just means I love you, son.
Through the necklace.
Yeah, through the collar. Yeah, through the collar.
That was cool.
But I had to.
And I was like, oh my gosh.
Enough of this.
But yeah, in that moment, I heard, I truly heard God say, I love you and I need you to continue on because I have things for you.
Wow.
So that's where I feel like I started to really, truly, accept who I am, accept how God made me. But yeah, I really like this movie, watching it now, again, makes me want to further that relationship with my dad.
Yeah. What does that look like? What's the next step for you?
I truly don't know. But I know now I'm removing that frustration that I've had. Because even in this movie, Flint has gotten frustrated. His dad, how do you, why are you not happy? I feel like I've had those moments before. How I'm reaching out to you. I'm trying to do my hardest.
Well, I relate so hard to that idea, too, where you just want to be seen by your father, right?
Exactly.
You feel like everyone in the world else in the world around you is able to see you. But you're just waiting for your dad to say something.
Yeah.
Right? To say some sense of that. And the thing is that sometimes fathers think it, but they don't
say
know how to articulate it.
And not knowing how my dad grew up also made me realize that too. It must be really hard for him to even share that as well. So there's stuff like that, and just realizing, I guess, maturing and realizing that it is a two-way street to communicate and to strive to have that relationship and build that relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could fool so many kids with this picture of this dinosaur.
Yes, you can.
Let me see. Let me
in a
see.
time of dinosaurs. I
That's
could go
amazing.
out to Twin Lakes and fool everyone.
That picture's
see that
amazing.
again.
That
Even
looks
with the
real.
shark one too.
Yeah, it does look like you guys actually went
It's all
That's
to where they
dinosaurs.
filmed Tree of Life.
Yeah.
This is where they filmed Tree of Life, guys.
That actually looks more realistic than real
Yeah.
life.
Yes, it
You
does.
could tell some toddlers that you're 2 billion years old.
I actually have been telling them that, so I guess I can go to school and be like, yeah, see?
I have this exact
That was
memory.
mine.
Really with it? Yeah.
What, the Jaws ride?
Mhm.
Oh my gosh, that I've missed.
So, and so it's okay. So
I
even
missed
looking
that.
at these, it's interesting. Oh yeah, so this is from my city year,
oh, there's Trey.
Oklahoma year. So, but it's interesting because I went from I felt like some sense of strong community with my family, because again, we did everything together, to now we're separated, and I don't know what I am without it.
Yeah.
Or even how to handle not having that community or having people around me. That I feel like that's where it's brought me closer to Jesus.
Well, the community that you place a lot of emphasis on these episodes, you've lived apart from that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what that feels like.
Yeah.
And you hope that no one else will ever have to experience that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree.
And Flint is kind of ostracized from his own community
Yeah.
when we first introduce him.
And it's
He
interesting.
He
finds
loves
something.
that little crappy town.
Yeah, he truly does. He's
The
trying to
one
make
underneath
something.
the A. Where is it in the Atlantic?
Yeah,
Yeah,
right
yeah.
underneath the
That
A
was
of the
funny.
Atlantic. But he's trying to do something not for his own fame and glory. He's doing it for the town. He wants the town to be recognized. And all he truly wants is just to be recognized.
And he brings a lot of joy with the food, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's too much.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't spend a lot of time with him at the end. What I interpreted with the ending is that they're open to him now.
Yeah.
They've accepted him.
What? And when they're eating all the food?
No, at the end
at
of
the
the
end.
movie.
end,
At the
okay.
end.
I think by the end they've learned to accept him,
Yeah.
and that's the big arc of the movie.
Flint Lockwood.
Yeah.
Oh, Mr. T is
Dude,
awesome, by the
he's
way.
so funny.
Oh, funny
The
enough.
run is
Mm-hmm.
is
He
the
has those
killer.
Des shorts. He's wearing them Des shorts in the entire movie.
Yes, he is.
When he jumps through the chip, it makes a T out of it. You remember when he's holding the...
Oh, that's awesome.
I didn't even think
catch
about that.
and he runs through the Dorito? Yeah, it makes a T behind him. I'm
That's
like,
amazing.
like, that's
Yeah.
hilarious.
He's very valid to be having an eye on Flint.
Oh, yeah.
Because this dude is causing chaos.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's a good father. He
I mean,
loves his son.
To be fair, that was me too. I was definitely causing chaos as I was trying to make things. I even wanted to make a shrink ray, and I was trying to get stuff like...
that can't happen.
Yeah.
I mean,
but I
it
could have sworn I made.
Could,
Someone
but we
could do
can't,
it.
we can't allow it.
I'd be interested.
Make it a shrink ray?
Chaos.
The scene with Mr. T's son,
Mm-hmm.
he's had too much.
Oh, the candy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got to break the celery over him.
I was-
And the jokes, yeah, the
he's-
jokes in
he's-
the movie are
He's
hilarious.
he's in a food coma. I love that line.
I also realized just now that what's the cop's name? I know it's
Earl.
pitiful that I don't know Earl.
Yeah.
But his hair is actually the opposite of Mr. T's hair in real life. Because Mr. T has a mohawk and
Mhm.
Earl is missing that middle strip
That's
of his hair.
hilarious.
That's amazing. I didn't catch
So
that either.
they put a lot into this.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's I was gonna say something else, but I lost it. But the town like does not care about Flint at first at all. They
Yeah.
just want
He's a nuisance to them.
yeah, they're not building up the town, they're building up themselves.
Yeah.
And the mayor is the reflection of that greed and just
yeah.
Mhm.
they're just consuming his talents for
Him and
benefit.
the
They
mayor
don't
have-
care about him.
Him and the mayor have the same issue. They both want to be seen. He's like, I want people to see me and say, that's one big mayor. And then they say
Same
it
with
at the end.
what's his
One.
name? The baby.
Oh, Baby Brent?
Baby Brand.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jason, as soon as Nancy saw Baby Brent.
No, don't even say it because
She said it twice.
I think Brent doesn't even need to be in the movie. I actually don't. I don't care for Brent at all.
You don't care for Brent?
No.
Even he had a character arc of
chicken
accepting
Brent.
himself.
Go die.
I didn't like him either.
No.
Yeah, I'm not
But
He
sure.
didn't
But-
accept himself. He jumped into a giant chicken and said, "This is who I am."
Yes.
No, you
Again.
belong in a loony bin. Actually,
Okay. Okay.
out of everyone who is told they need to be in a loony bin, you need to. You dressed
Guys.
as a baby for 30 years, and now,
'Cause
oh,
he's-
if I get into this giant cooked chicken, I have found my no.
Because he was running on that fame. He was running on the identity of like the town loving him, but they didn't really love
Yeah.
him.
It's a good idea, and it could have been done better.
But guys, let's
He
be
could have
real.
been likable. He
Let's
wasn't.
be real here. This is a movie made for kids.
Yes, it
And
is.
when Baby Brent becomes the chicken and says that line that you just said, he's
I'm
finally,
Chicken Brent. I finally found out who I am.
that is Autumn's favorite part of the movie. My 5-year-old
Yep.
lights up and
That's-
says, "This is life."
You go on, you crazy
Yeah.
kids.
I needed to hear that.
That is the best thing in the movie for
Well,
her.
I've told
So,
you, your daughter is a chicken.
she
She
wants.
really is. I saw
no,
your
she
wife.
wants to be a chicken expert when she grows
Well,
up.
she
She
is
already is,
one.
yeah.
Because I saw your
She's
wife
a
pick her
whisperer.
up
Yeah,
the
she
way
needs to move
that
to
Autumn.
dinosaurs.
I saw your wife pick her up the way Autumn picks up chickens. I'm like, that's why she understands them so well. She does the same stuff they do,
Mm-hmm.
just pecking around places and causing
Here,
problems.
tell her she needs to move on to dinosaurs since like dinosaurs and birds are kind of related.
Addie had a dinosaur phase.
She did?
Yeah. Autumn didn't really. She didn't really
I
get into
still think
dinosaurs.
it's funny she has a chicken phase.
Autumn.
Autumn.
Oh,
It's.
No,
I don't
no,
think
that's
it's.
not a phase.
It's not a
It's not
phase
a phase.
anymore.
That's her life now.
She's been into chickens for more than
That's
half
her
her life.
identity.
I can help her
So-
really go pro.
Yeah,
She-
baby,
Yes.
baby Brandon the chicken, like
Mhm.
that's
That's the who
that
audience
reminds
is for
you.
too.
Yeah, that reminds you. Like the kid.
Thank you for that.
Yeah,
I still don't like it, but
No,
I respect that he has a place in the hearts of children. That's his place. He is Chicken Brent. He's meant to be entertainment for the kids.
see,
My-
everyone has a
my-
thing
for chicken, Brent.
Mm-hmm.
my
Empathy for Cobra and
kids,
chicken
my
breast.
kids adore all the Lord and Miller films they've seen. So there is definitely something special that
Yeah.
as a director they can do to where in a time where a lot of kids' entertainment is,
Yeah, like fart jokes and
I actually think that he makes
gracious.
stuff that is really good for kids to enjoy genuinely, but also adults can watch too
Mhm.
and not feel like it's trash.
This
Yeah.
one, there wasn't a fart joke in this one, was there?
Yeah, there wasn't.
Good job.
See,
They could have done it with Baby Brett multiple times.
Oh,
Like, they
I
could
feel like
have.
he was one big fart joke.
Yeah, I'll say that.
He
It was
didn't need to
implied.
fart, but he was the fart joke.
So one thing that I've been thinking of, and I wanted to ask you about it because I feel that it's super crucial. So Sam, right? Is there an element of Sam in your life that this movie kind of spoke to you about, or that you connected with?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Like Sam, like is kind of like Nancy. Like Nancy.
Ew, Nats.
Yeah, like, but Nancy has fully accepted me. She's. I have a full room dedicated to the stuff that I
Yes,
do.
that she doesn't sell.
Yeah, that she doesn't sell.
Yet.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, I think she's
It's the
waiting.
down payment.
Yeah, I think she would be waiting for me to,
Secret eBay page.
That's she's like,
just start seeing stuff
Yeah.
disappear.
she sees you making
Auction
investments
style.
like this. You're buying stock right now in her mind, and it's just like increasing in price.
And Sam is intelligent in the movie too, so
Yeah.
Nancy's super intelligent as well.
Is
pretty
there
much.
is there a nerdy part of Nancy that maybe people
gonna
don't know
say.
about?
She is definitely like a very like big Harry Potter person.
Okay.
I feel like she was like a bit of a nerd and she's not as much anymore. But from the aspect of being fully accepted by somebody, that is the person that does fully accept me 100%. She sees me day in and day out, you know, all the weird quirks that when I'm talking to Waffles and I have my spray paint boxes with computer stuff on it, like all that stuff. Like it's hilarious in this movie that I'm like, oh yeah, I do have cardboard boxes that I make with my movies, and she's just not like, you're kind of weird for that. She's just like, oh, this is so cool.
Yeah. May as well be just a candle on the table.
Yeah.
Something normal.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
So yeah, I would say Nancy's my Sam.
You guys kiss like that?
That was actually our first couch.
There's something about this film that I think I need to go back and watch it again because I tend to watch things just kind of objectively first.
Mhm.
And now I want to like just kind of have these pictures that you've shared with us in mind as I'm like, I will go and watch this movie again just to like watch your life.
Yeah.
Like Nick started that way. And I think it's something that I'm not always good at is starting in that like subjective, like this is Joe. Like I think I need to go back and really just take this life that you've handed us to look at and say, okay.
But no, I actually like really thank you, Jason. When I was watching this movie, I actually took like I have a giant blue bin of all the things I used to have back in California.
Wow.
And when I was watching it, I was like, I want to get all this stuff out and just look through. And I do that from time to time because I guess it kind of grounds me when I'm feeling overwhelmed or just like, what am I doing? Or like, if I'm not just feeling like, who am I in a sense? I just kind of look back and like, this is who God made me to be. So it kind of brings me back to it, back to snaps, back to reality.
Oh, there goes gravity. Mom spaghetti. We're just gonna
Mom
go right
spaghetti.
Mom spaghetti.
Spaghetti tornado.
Derek, just press stop. It's over. It's been over.
Joe, anything else?
Yeah, just again talking about like how he used everything. Like at the end, he used everything that he learned. from
Oh,
his
it's
community, from
awesome.
other people. Yeah.
Everything, every invention, everything ties into that finale.
At the end of it, even with the rat birds are the thing that save him.
They accepted him.
And
as
the
a
collar
creator.
allows the dad to talk.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
It's sick.
So it even his spray on shoes. He used the spray on shoes
Yeah.
to defeat the
Forgot about the spray on
Flint
shoes.
Dude, they never came off.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's even a kind of scary idea. Like, because it's like, what if his feet didn't grow and it was just stuck like that?
well, if
tiny
it's
feet.
an extension of him, you can't get rid of that.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's true.
So
Mhm.
it's what supports him. He's walking on it.
Yeah, I love how.
Well, he's
everything
literally
made-
walking on his failure.
Yeah,
But he's on. But
He's Tigo.
But that's who he is. Not the failure, but just the
Watch the feet.
yeah,
Like,
because it's not even.
The invention is an extension of him.
Mhm.
He can't get rid of it.
Yeah.
It's it guards his feet, and it's in every step that he takes. It's,
Right.
he's there.
Even when the machine was like flying off and he was trying to stop it, he was using his shoes, his little concrete shoes, to try to stop the machine from flying off into space.
Right.
So even everything that he has is still useful to him, regardless if people deem it a failure or not.
Wait
Yeah.
Wait a minute. No. Now I'm about to go on a rant. I'm not going to for the sake of time. But he made an indestructible polymer and then just did nothing with it? Oh, it doesn't work as a shoe. No, that's on Flint. Flint would have gotten mad military contracts. I'm just saying he could have done
He didn't
that
want
route.
military contracts.
I understand. That's right. Construction, whatever. He made an indestructible spray-on polymer and just was like, well, it's not.
You know why?
It's not shoes, so it's a failure.
You know why? Because Baby Branson, how you gonna get him off, nerd?
Yeah.
You think she's smart, but that's lame.
So the community, now there's something here. The community failed him, and because the community did not accept the possibilities of this invention, say, hey, no, they're bad shoes. But dude, wait. So he had no one to build him up, so he could not even realize the full potential of this invention.
And the only person that saw his potential died. So no one else in that town is seeing his potential. They just, again, deem him as just a failure or just a nuisance or that black sheep.
So it never became anything more than spray-on shoes and a failure because there was no support. There was no spraying off to develop and discover new uses for this thing.
And after the community, actually, but for real though, but after the community accepted him, he did use that spray for something that did benefit everybody. It's actually saved the day.
Full circle.
Yeah, it does come full circle. That's the okay, Jason.
Let's go. No, we had to do this together. We had to do this together. This was let's go.
That was good.
The opposite.
Yeah.
Of what's his name, the chicken guy.
Yes. Oh, you got to be opposite of Brett. But no, I think if I would have to say like my final thoughts on things, the phrase "the community like helps build up a child," I feel like is a very like serious thing. Children, when they are growing up, are just so like they want to aspire to do like anything and everything.
Yeah.
They have so much. They have so many giftings. They have so many talents that they're wanting to explore.
Mhm.
And when us as adults are too jaded or just dealing with our own things, and then we shut those things down because we are thinking of a real world mindset and not the imagination of a child, we can suffocate. I feel like a lot of giftings that these children can do and snuff out what can be possible astronauts, scientists, presidents. Like, so these children can be so many things if we choose to fuel them in those right directions, not just deeming it as a unnecessary thing.
Yeah.
Or a nuisance.
Or a nuisance, exactly. I think of the boy I mentor and the progressive route. And you guys have seen it, just the route that he's been taking. That boy can be anything. Yeah, but if no one is there to support him, he can also be anything in the wrong direction as well. Yeah. And I think that is so like important. So those who are like taking care of children, those who are fathers, mothers, mentors, just anything, make sure that you are allowing a child to be a child. Yeah. Allow them to be imaginative. Allow them to have that, like that sense of imagination that they can do anything and help them from there. So.
That's so good. Good place to end on too.
Yeah.
Joe, thank you so much for just bringing this film and bringing us another piece of yourself. Literally, there's pieces of you on the table with all these photographs and drawings and things you've created. So it's a beautiful thing to see. And if you want to get a taste of Joe's art, of his storytelling, how can they find you? You can find me on YouTube, Joe Lee Stark 25. I'm actually working on a project right now, so I'm excited for it. I finished my 5-year series that I was working on just recently. So if you want to check that out, that's our Savior series, and there's a playlist in my YouTube page as well. So yeah, I'm very excited to continue to show my art and continue to show my vision of things. Honestly, it's coming to a close very soon. I feel like we have like at least 8 or 9 more movies that I've had in mind that I've been creating. Coming soon. Yeah, coming 8 or 9 more. But compared to the 17 I've already made, listen, we're coming 17 movies. We're coming to the end. So yeah, I thank you guys for being on this journey with me. Thanks for letting us be in the movies too. Yeah, this is a lot of fun. Thank you. Like, you guys are my community. And when I talk about community in these movies, I am talking about you guys. Yeah. You guys continue to help me and grow me. And I love this, and I love you guys. So we love you too. Yeah. We love you and your by weirdness. Spray on shoes. Flint Stark. So until next time. Hold on. Speaking of taste. To bring up our movie next time. Yeah. So
please join us for our in-depth analysis of the prestigious film Ratatouille.
And until then,
You guys don't remember who I am? I'm Baby Brent. Uh-oh.
Thank you for listening to the Live a Meaningful Story podcast, produced by All Things Narrative. If you'd like to learn more about our coaching, workshops, events, please check out allthingsnarrative.com. You can also follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at All Things Narrative. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider subscribing and leaving us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, and tune in next time as we continue exploring the stories we love and the stories we live. Take care.